Greetings and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to one and to all. Depending upon where you are on the globe, happy Monday. This is breaking news, perhaps no later than 20, 30 minutes ago. President Joe Biden, current President Joe Biden, announced today, Sunday, that he is stepping down, and to follow up with that, he has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. Again, current President Joe Biden announced today, Sunday, that he is stepping down and has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, this is going to be a short stream. The link is there if anyone has anything they would like to say really quickly. Brooklyn Hood. Oh, thank you. Very nice compliment. Not sure who you are, haven't seen you around, but thank you. Your thoughts on this? Now, there have been stories all this week about this perhaps being a reality. Number one, the announcement that he tested positive for C-19. Next, there was a story that former President Obama and Nancy Pelosi also had a push, if you will, for him to consider stepping down. I am not sure what happened from his being adamant, according to news sources, that he was not going to step down, and according to that report, that he was the man to beat former President Donald Trump because he did it the first time. However, today, Sunday, I don't even believe it's been 48 hours, he has announced. And again, I implore each and every one of you, because I know the bloggers, vloggers, news reporters are going crazy with speculations, etc., etc., etc. But I'm just wanting to gauge your thoughts on what really prompted this. Could it be? And again, these are just my thoughts alone. The heat behind Hunter Biden. Thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. Perhaps. Hey there, Peace. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? It's almost football season, and I know you are waiting for your funky Giants to try to come back. But we'll talk about that later. Hey there, Oracles. How are you? Now let me get Oracles in here. But Oracles, I'm going to say this to you one more time. And unless I'm saying to drop your links, please don't do that. I appreciate your support, but don't do that, because no one else is doing that. And I don't do that on your channel. So I'm deleting that. And if I have to ask you one more time, then I'm going to have to take your blue. Okay? I'm very kind, but rules are there for a reason. And it's a respect thing. Peace, I'm not a hater. Trust me, I am not a hater at all. But we shall see. But back to the subject at hand. Your thoughts on Biden stepping down. Do you believe he was compelled to do so? Do you believe that this is stemming behind the medical condition that, as I reported earlier, would be a reason for him to step down? To me, and this is just me, I believe that statement alone, and then subsequently, after that statement was made, then it's revealed that he tested positive for C-19. I believe, not YouTube, not Google, but I believe this was a foreshadowing. I believe that this was possibly already in the making. And then when former President Obama and Nancy Pelosi spoke up, it just made me feel as though this was in the making. So, with that being the case, what does that mean? And I'll drop this one more time before I get off because I am out in this heat. What does that mean for the country? Does that mean, could it mean Trump will be back in office? Because Vice President Kamala Harris, and if you paid attention, and I'm quite sure many people may have, she's been speaking a lot lately as well. So if you factor in all of these things and the timelines, and I've said this before, these days and times, nothing much surprises me at all. When you think about it, we are at the end, for all intents and purposes, of July. It leaves us with 4 months. And we don't know what's being done, nor said, nor planned behind political doors. Hey there, P. Moses. How are you? Your thoughts on this breaking news? And please be sure, for those of you that have come in, to please like this video and share it. Thank you. Much appreciated. And those of you that are on my page, my information is there. But the link is there if anyone wants to come up quickly. Hey there, Joshua. And voice their opinions on what they feel about Biden stepping down. Was it a medical move? Was it a political move? Do you really believe that Biden believes, or his camp believes, that he could not, or shall I say, would not defeat former President Donald Trump? And if that's the case, what is the level of confidence that will now be bestowed on Vice President Kamala Harris? Has this been in the making for longer than people may suspect? There are a lot of questions. There are many, many, many things to unpack here. And Joshua Gabriel, thank you for your comment. You stated that thank God Biden is out for 2024. I appreciate your sentiment. However, my question to you would be, if you are still here, and for anyone, Kamala Harris being endorsed, does that make the outlook more brighter for our country? Because I would hope that most people, thank you, Joshua, I would think that for most people, and we know how this political game is, there will be most definitely a lot of digging and smear campaigns, deep dives on Vice President Kamala Harris. This is, ladies and gentlemen, a hey, Chill Will, how are you? Your thoughts on this breaking news. This will set a precedent. I did not say president, I said precedent. I'm not sure why these comments are not remaining up. Chill Will, the link is there. And I'm not forcing anyone to take it, but your comments are welcome either. Again, this is this sets a precedent. What's for all intents and purposes. First, you have the reports Super Justin '08. Justin, I think you're a little bit young, but I appreciate you coming by. As I was saying, first we had the breaking news of Trump being injured in the rally in Pennsylvania. There are many people that questioned whether or not that was real, whether or not that was staged. Then we had, as I mentioned, the revelation of President Joe Biden testing positive for C-19. What I did not mention, and I did that on purpose, and I have my reasons for doing that. Those of you that saw my video earlier, I went shopping briefly. It was the first time I did since I've been out of the hospital. And I'm slowly getting back to normal. Well, my normal. And a lot of places are requiring masks because there is an uptick, according to reports, of a certain bug, if you will. The same bug that reports provided that Biden tested positive for. But what I did not say, as I was mentioning, and I did it for a reason, that he was administered a particular drug for that. See, I am the type of person that, as I said, I pay attention, I read, and I conceptualize, and I like to extrapolate things. I understand putting out information and being a responsible journalist, if you will. But to me, and this is just me and how my mind thinks, could it have been more? And again, these are just questions. Could it have been more to name the actual medication being administered. And I'm only saying this to open up the eyes to people of how, and I'm not saying that these are actually agendas nor propaganda. I'm just saying this is how certain agendas and propaganda can begin. It's just like, and this may not be a perfect analogy, but if someone says a African American was in an automobile accident. Hey there, Enlil, how are you? The bottom line is someone was in an accident. Would it really matter? The race? The end result was someone was in an automobile accident. So, according to reports, and again, I would like to add this. I'm doing well, Enlil, how are you? Just because someone is reporting something doesn't mean that it's fact. Now, I understand that we are not privy to test results, but how do we know for sure? How do we know for sure that was completely accurate? Again, I am not saying or implying that it wasn't. I'm asking the question, how do we know for sure? Because to me, in a span of a week, 1 week, just 1 week, we've had what was reported as a possible assassination attempt. And again, you have your doubters out there, you have your conspiracy theorists out there, you have others out there who question the validity of that. If it were real, if it were staged, then we had, as I mentioned, and I'm repeating this so people will understand the timeline and how it could look to others, for those that are paying attention, for those that even care. The announcement that Joe Biden tested positive for C-19 and reports, and again, do your research, that C-19 is on the rise in certain places, and certain places are requiring you to put on masks. And prior to that, there was a statement reported, and again, do your research, that Biden would consider stepping down if there was a medical reason to do so. Now we have today, which is Sunday, and the breaking news that he has indeed decided to step down, and lastly, has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. There will be an address to the nation, which is forthcoming. So I'm very interested in hearing what he has to say about that. That was my short presentation of the breaking news that President Joe Biden, months before the 2024 election, has announced that he is stepping down and that he has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. So, for to those that came in, thank you so much. Those who may catch the replay, please leave any comments as to your thoughts on this announcement, the direction this could mean for our country, and if you believe this was the intent long before now. Again, I'm not stating that it is. I'm not implying that it is. These are just questions. Thank you again to everybody that popped through. Enjoy the remainder of your Sunday. Perhaps it is Monday, depending upon where you are on the globe. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And as I mentioned, any comments you may have, because I do look at them. Everyone, thank you, and be safe, be well. You know the rest. Be healthier.